Today we're looking at the dynamites, and we're going to be seeing how deadly they would be IRL. Someone said that the battle cats are 6 feet tall or whatever, but Panos has these ads that show them in the real world, and they're not 6 feet, they are this big. So we're going to be going with those sizes. Everyone on today's ranking seems pretty strong, but let's see which one of them would have the least painful attack. At the bottom of the rank, we have this girl. Now, I know her attack looks potent, but after an analysis, I've concluded on the fact that this mysterious energy ball is nothing more than bright lights. If the attack were hot, it would leave behind some smoke or affect the ground in some way. Heavy Assault CAT proves the laser is hot with the smoke, and Gigando is a really good example of affecting the ground. Momoko does none of this, which indicates that her attack is simply light. To further back it up, her little explosion of light emits neon hearts and rainbow, both harmless light-related visuals. In fact, her whole theme is light-based. Take a look at these decorative rays being emitted, or the other shining lights around this unit. With all this in mind, I'm confident I wouldn't leave with anything more than a slightly warmer body. Cats in the Cradle is next, and it's quite the step up from our previous entry. When Titan Cat comes in, he punches the ground really hard with a lot of force. Unlike Momoko, his fist actually does affect the ground, and he has a bulky muscle, so the force would definitely be high enough to break feet bones. Oh, and one of the cats drops a baby bottle, but that's completely irrelevant since the main attack is the fist. Now, I know this one looks really bad, but I think a human would still be able to survive this, unlike what we have later on in the video. Nurse Cat holds a hypodermic syringe, which are safe, but this one is clearly much larger than usual. We don't need to worry about any questionable substances being injected, as it's clear whatever this thing is doesn't even come out. After being pierced in, it would leave a gap through the body. Fortunately, needles are quite thin, even this large one, so the damage would be quite curable. But what about the explosion? Well, sure, it's big and affects the ground, but the blast is medicine, so harmless, and maybe it'll be enough to heal the hole the massive syringe left. Cat Machine starts his attack by charging up a large energy ball, and alone that would be lethal. With so much heat and energy being absorbed, being around this thing will leave someone with at least a first-degree burn. But that's not all, as this already horrible situation ends off with a powerful heat explosion, causing the ground to burst, leaving smoke behind. This would result with an unpleasant experience, so I'm sure you can tell how Cat Machine earned this spot. More fire! Cat Clan Hero starts an entire meteor rush to head for you. I'm not sure if meteor rush is the right term, because these so-called meteors are way smaller than a real one. But nonetheless, it's still something to be very afraid of. At first I considered ranking these guys higher, but after a close look at the fireball, I've realized there's no actual rock or material. So we may not be crushed by this attack, but a burn this big would not be nice either. Also, they summon fireballs in the background too, so I guess some random people are getting screwed as well. Oh man, I think we're getting into the certain death levels of deadly. These hideous large ice spikes come rushing down. I wanted to determine the strength of these ice weapons, and since they stab right into the ground, I'm sure they're pretty strong and wouldn't have any issue stabbing into a human. I'm not too big a fan of sharp things, so could we just move on from here? Swinging from cold to hot, we have Satoru. Comparing to Cat Machine's attack, this explosion is much bigger, while leaving behind a potentially plasmic purple inferno. Purple fire is the result of it's complicated, but the important part is that it's 3 times hotter than regular fire, and with a flame large enough to absorb an entire body, it would be reduced to ashes. It could have been even worse, however, as there is an unignorable beast that could tear me apart, but fortunately, it doesn't do anything other than create the massive flame in the first place. Aw man, Balrog's spiky club is really big, and it's on fire. With all that in mind, the club moves at incredible speeds. It only takes 2 frames for him to complete the swing, and in real time that's 0.67 seconds to travel 19 feet. The mace is massive and likely made of steel. I estimated it weighs around 250 pounds. One calculation later, and that is 423,607 kinetic energy, which is about the same as being hit by a car going 60 miles an hour. So yeah, don't underestimate this attack. Here we have Paladin. I don't want to do some absurd calculations again, so I'll just keep this simple. This large axe would cut any target in half, and the aftermath of that would be pretty gruesome. This axe is stronger than Ice Queen's Mega Icicles, and it also affects the ground. And yes, I keep mentioning the ground. It's important, okay? This one wouldn't just kill you, it would demolish you with panache. At first it's a normal trident, but then somehow catches on fire, and then unleashes one spectacle of an attack. It unleashes what appears to be a fire tornado, and it lands hard enough to break rocks. So I don't even want to imagine what this crazy stab would do to a human and its surroundings. Aw, jeez. Lavos is number 1, which is quite fitting, but what exactly is going on here? He summons this perhaps radioactive orb that is, it's a quite powerful impact nonetheless. So it doesn't matter what substance this even is. His attack is too mysterious to be compared fully. Like, just look at this frame and tell me it doesn't look like he's exploding an entire planet. Even though his attack orb is much smaller than a planet, the extreme energy levels in this explosion gives him a firm spot at number 1.